Okay, folks, good evening. I'm kind of getting a little habit, I guess you could say, to get on here nightly because we're getting to a level that we really need your help. And we've tried to do this in many different ways. So now I'm kind of doing a solo marathon kind of run here. And if you're interested in helping us out and what we're doing, and I'm going to show you a few things as I go along here. But donated a lot of time over the last several years working with caregiving and serving a lot of people, and a lot of people that just had no money, could not do anything to help us out. Some could, kept us kept us afloat for a lot of years. In 2019, Alabama changed their laws. Our chief source of fundraising uh, up through August the 29th of last year was providing services for weddings. That was the only thing we felt comfortable, and we still serve people that couldn't afford or barely could afford. I mean, we adjusted our fees accordingly, and some people could really afford to help us out a lot, and others just really couldn't. So at any rate, all that came to a abrupt end. Excuse me, I've got an itch here. Abrupt end. Because of change of laws in Alabama. Alabama, a very conservative state, and they decided that they would cater to the desires of non-probate judges and change the marriage laws in Alabama. I say the marriage laws. They changed the process, the paperwork, and in so doing, really, you don't even have to deal with probate anymore. All you need is a notary, internet and a notary, and you can get married in Alabama from anywhere in the world. Not going to get on that rant. It just affected us grossly financially. And also, on top of that, there were medical needs of our own staff, if you will, as well as also um, the loss of the building that we were in. We had to get out of there by the first of the year. A lot of things took place, especially in the latter half of 2019. There was already kind of the handwriting on the wall, if you will, earlier in the year. We did some things, and we're looking at different opportunities to raise money. Um, so anyway, I have been giving a lot of sermonettes, and I'm going to continue with that some this evening as well. But I have put together a book that if you get it from me, of course, if you want it autographed, I'll be glad to autograph it for you. I know the lighting kind of sucks here, right? But it's called Dating the Dead. Now, the stories in this book are very interesting, but it boils down to stories of human interaction with the dead and with our fascination with death. And it covers different religious views as far as personal um, stories from people. Um, and there's a term for it, spectrophilia, and it's a term used for the phenomenon of having alleged sexual encounters. Now, I'm going to direct you to a website and get a better idea for what's in this book. And it's very simple, datingthedead.com. And it's a compilation of stories. Nothing in my imagination went into this. This is a collection of things that uh, stories from around the world, interesting, fascinating things. And again, you go to datingthedead.com, you'll indeed see some of what's in this book and get an idea for it. So anyway, $15 includes shipping to you, autographed copy directly from me. You can message me here, and I'll show you how to get that taken care of. Now, this is Monday night. It is now We got freezing temperatures here in central Alabama, and it is, what is it, 20, 27 degrees outside. I think it's going to get down to 23 for nights over with. It's supposed to drop 4 more degrees. We got 3 nights, I guess, of really, really uh, cold weather. And if you're watching this from other parts of the country or parts of the world, you may think, hey, what's your problem? We get this all the time. Well, we don't in Central Alabama. And we've had some very wonderful, sunshiny, 60, 70-degree weather for most of this winter thus far. So when we dip down for a few days into this, it's kind of a shock to our system, if you will. So anyway, today was what marks the birthday of Martin Luther King Jr., whom, unless you were a hermit living in a cave in the wilderness somewhere, we all know who Martin Luther King was. Some would like to suggest that Martin Luther King was a martyr, sacrificed, or whatever. And I would remind everyone that it was just out and out murder. Is what it was: assassination, murder, however you want to call it. There were still some possibly lingering questions as to whether the person that was arrested for this was the perpetrator, was the shooter, or if there was more to it than that. May never get to the bottom of it. This is kind of what happens. We're still going round and round about the Kennedy assassination. So what's new there? Martin Luther King was a very interesting fellow. He's best known, and of course, the civil rights movement, by far, a very articulate orator, heck of a speaker. Shames any politician we have around today as far as his ability to convey a message and his use and command of the English language. And as you study his life, his speeches, what he stood for, learn more about him, and a lot of people kind of superficially know something about him, and other people have dug a little bit deeper, of course. He's kind of best known for his I Have a Dream speech, which was the culmination of the speech that he gave in D.C., I believe it was on a Wednesday, with a couple 100,000, 250,000 people in attendance on that summer day, and wrapped up that speech with the I Have a Dream part of it. And the fascinating thing about that, he had written this speech out, and when he got toward the end of the speech and he's looking at his notes and what he had planned to say at the end of that speech, at that moment, in the middle of the speech, in the heat of the moment, he saw what he had written just did not sound right, did not look right, did not fit. And from behind him, noting his hesitation, was a female who shouted to him, "Martin, tell him about your dream." And extemporaneously, unscripted, King gave that part of his speech, the I Have a Dream. It was not planned. It was not pre-scripted. It's an amazing thing, because that was a powerful, from the heart, passionate moment directly from within him. And it speaks volumes of his character as a person, his abilities. He's also well known for what's called a letter from the Birmingham jail. And if you haven't taken the time to read that, I've posted it on the timeline on my Facebook page, and I highly encourage you to read that. He was also a very vocal opponent against the Vietnam War, and he spoke and gave fiery speech in that regard. He clearly in the South, especially, not a very popular character, and even among some of his own people, um, he caught criticism and did not find total support. Um, and of course, we know that his life was cut short. But what a dent he made in the history of this nation in the civil rights movement. And he was more than just rights for minorities, for the blacks. He started a movement about the working poor, and he included the poor whites along with his speeches about the blacks of his time. And yes, we have made some progress. And he fought hard, and his name now has become a political tool by a lot of candidates for office who really often misquote him, misuse his words, and paint a different picture of him than what the reality is. So I just wanted to address that a moment because this day has been a day that they set aside, his birthday, to honor him. And I remember, I remember him well. I remember the day that he was assassinated, he was murdered. And that's part of the history that I've lived through. We live now in a very divided society. And really and truly, what a lot of people don't realize, either people that don't give thought to it or people that are young and didn't live through it, it's what we're going through is nothing new. We have maybe reached a certain point in our history to where we're embracing um, a rhetoric, public rhetoric, a little bit maybe, but it's not totally true either. George Wallace was very much supported for years and years and years here in Alabama. Very much a racist, very much in your face, very much loud, could be very obnoxious. I would call George Wallace the Donald Trump of the 50s, 60s, that era, on through actually the early 70s. My sister graduated in 1966 in North Alabama, and George Wallace was governor. He came and gave the commencement ceremony at her graduation. This country's been very divided before. For those that don't, for those who don't remember, let's be clear, for those who don't remember, there was such a thing called Civil War. Almost, just short of 1 million Americans were killed due to that conflict. Brother against brother, father against son, very horrific line drawn at the Mason-Dixon line, and just a very, very horrible event. So it's not totally new. But if I were to address from the view of religion and beliefs in God, especially that of Christianity, and what they support now, and what, well, how their actions, their conduct, their rhetoric demeans their own God, demeans their own faith. So let's say Christianity claims to follow the teachings and life of a man named Jesus, whose story is told in the Bible, the New Testament thereof. There's 4 books commonly called the Gospels that are accounts of his life, and they do not always fall in complete harmony with each other as the story is told in those books. None of them are eyewitness accounts, but that is the closest they've got to the teachings and life of this Jesus whose name they claim. And I have brought out before that for some strange reason, as they profess this name of Christ, calling themselves Christian, for some strange reason, they advocate the 10 Commandments. They they desire for the 10 Commandments to be written on the walls at school, courthouse buildings, the 10 Commandments. Now you got to understand the 10 Commandments was an excerpt of commandments coming out of some 613 called the Mosaic Law, the law given to the Israelites, the Jews. Jesus came along, Matthew 5, 6, and 7, and his Sermon on the Mount opened up a whole new way of looking at this God and this spirituality and so forth. And strangely enough, you never hear anyone advocating, supporting, lobbying for any of the Sermon on the Mount, the words of their Jesus, to be posted anywhere. And that is really telling, because you never hear most Christians referring to those 3 chapters of the Bible, commonly known as the Sermon on the Mount and the Beatitudes, which are in those. Most of what is in those 3 chapters are pretty much totally ignored. That's why they're not followed. That's why they're not advocated. That's why they're not popular text with Christianity. Blessed are the peacemakers. Well, when we live in a society where it's all of the troops, that blessed peacemakers, we live in a culture that peacemakers are not viewed as heroes. They are viewed in our culture as weak. We have a very vengeful, we would like to retaliate. Somebody steps on us, we're going to stomp them back. 244 years of history, 93% of those years have been in conflict. Any man that comes along and really strives for peaceful resolution, that they're not thought too highly of in our society. Praying in one closet. You don't even have to go there, but read chapter 6. It sums it up. Christians love to stand in groups and bow their head and cry out to their God publicly. Some make a scene of being seen in restaurants and public places, holding hands, bowing their heads. School kids, before school starts, they can be seen standing around a flagpole, holding hands and saying their morning prayers. they don't understand. They just don't understand the teachings of Jesus. They do not comprehend at all, and they will argue with you. They're just, it's strange. It's just really strange. Because if you really believe in this God, you really believe those words mean anything, they're pretty pointed. They're not hard to understand, but this is what we've got, isn't it? So it gets down to, are you a cultural Christian, or does it really concern you what your God views? What's the views of your God? And I challenge people to look in the mirror with this. It's easy to make judgments towards others, but can you be honest with yourself? Can you be honest, totally honest with yourself? There is, you know, we live in a culture that is very heavily Christian. When these famous preachers and politicians get in trouble, they get caught literally with their pants down. I often say it's just like Governor Bentley of Alabama, who he ran his campaigns, and on his campaign site was a picture of him and his wife and the Bible, and standing in front of their church. And they make a very strong point of being, Sunday school and church, blah, blah, blah. And he got involved in some activities that, if they weren't out and out illegal, they, from a Christian viewpoint, would certainly be considered something else. And this whole thing is backed up by the fact that his wife of 50 years divorced him. His wife of 50 years divorced him. That's very telling. No matter what judgment you want to play on this man, was his accusers correct? Or was his defense for himself correct and his accusers wrong? Well, his wife pretty much was in the process of divorcing him before it became very public knowledge, all the scandalous details. But throughout this whole thing, it did not concern him that his all-knowing God saw this. He never backed up and showed remorse, knowing that his God saw all this as it took place. I mean, let's face it, he didn't have to wait for his God to catch him, because his God sees it all the time. It's in his God's face. But when it came to light to humans, that's when the concern set in. It kind of shows that, like so many Christians, they're cultural Christians. They do it for show. They don't do it for sincerity. They don't do it to be seen by their God. They do it to be seen by men. Like Jesus said in that scripture, they want to be heard for their many words. Oh, I say that all the time. Last year, I looked at a vehicle, and the guy played some silly games. First of all, he had two cars for sale. I went to look at one of them and got there, and oh, well, he had sold it. And here, take this one and drive it. And, marked $1,000 off the car. Well, I'm going to bless you. I'm going to bless you. I'm going to bless you. Just overuse that word. The whole thing, like, this is over the top. When you see a politician come out and they're talking their Christianity and they're holding their Bible in their hand, You know, I don't care who they are, you've got to question those things. If we are to be a free nation, and we have always allowed for differing beliefs, that means our government has to represent all of these different beliefs. Secular. If this were a Christian nation, then a practical defense in a criminal case would be, God told me to. As a woman that rammed into a car, injuring some people because she was testing her faith. And her defense was that pretty much God told her to. This is just in the news last day or two. And that's not going to hold up in court because we're not a Christian nation. We're a secular nation. We're not using the Bible to behead people. We don't stone rebellious women or men. Rebellious, I mean adulterous. We had for a long time what they call blue laws in most states, especially in the South. Couldn't sell, couldn't open your doors for, they slowly let things open up. I think one of the first things they allowed was for pharmacies to open so you could get your drugs on Sunday. And finally, they pretty much abolished the blue laws. I mean, you don't have to open on Sunday. Chick-fil-A makes a big to-do about being closed on Sunday. Thank goodness for Popeyes, because you do get hungry on Sunday. And all the things, and I go back to this marriage law thing that has affected where we are and our need to raise funds. The same-sex marriage thing, the Bible doesn't really address same-sex marriage. At best, it may address the issue of a man lying with man. And there's debates as far as the word homosexual being used in the New Testament, but we won't even go there. We'll just say, we'll give that it speaks of homosexuality. We'll give that. And in so doing, it's the act of homosexuality at best the Bible condemns. The act of them securing a secular piece of paper called a marriage license has nothing to do with the act of homosexuality. Let's face it, there's a lot of heterosexual couples that are married that do not have sex. For one reason or the other, they just don't have sex. And so it's that act of sex at best that the Bible may condemn, and that's debatable too, but we'll give that. But the Bible also directly, and more directly than the homosexual bit, more directly condemns adultery. None of these 9 probate judges in Alabama, none, bar none, ever had a problem with their signature being on a marriage license of someone that has committed adultery. They're not asking, have you committed adultery? Is this your second, third marriage? I mean, you have to put that as how many times you've been married, and whatever times, they don't go back and say, well, was adultery one of the reasons? Because Jesus, the Bible indicated that adultery was the only scriptural grounds for divorce. So, according to a strict literalist Bible view of these subjects, anyone that was married and got divorced for any reason they would be committing adultery if they indeed remarried. So adultery would come into play at some point, but none of these judges ever had a concern with that. It never did bother them, even though that is a direct statement of the Bible. There's no way to define that ever any differently. The Jewish law of adulterous woman was to be stoned. In fact, one of the scriptures in the Bible is where they brought an adulterous woman to Jesus and said she's committed adultery and she's supposed to be stoned according to the law. What do you say? That was the law. That was the law that Jesus lived under. And of course, his response that most know is, "He without sin cast the first stone." That brings up a point about the death penalty, but the bottom line is that it's not a genuine belief system. There's no genuineness there. And it's deciphered in a million different ways. 33,000 different denominations stemming from this one book, and there are at least three: the Orthodox Bible, the Catholic Bible, and the Protestant Bible. The Protestant Bible being the most well known, having 66 books in it, which is trimmed down from the Catholic that kept pulling out of this book to where they left it at 66 books when not Martin Luther King, but Martin Luther tacked his thesis on the church door there in Germany and started the Protestant movement. There were some Bible books there that were not suitable to what he wanted to promote in those teachings. And people just don't want to question. They really do not want to question their beliefs. They're scared to question their beliefs, which is really, really, really strange, because if you're dealing with truth should stand, and you should have no fear of saying, wait a minute, let me double check. And where are you getting this message from? Who is presenting this to you? Is it some man on a pulpit? Is it me? And you're getting this information because this person is articulate, well spoken. They've had some studies in the Bible, and you're getting, but again, all of these, we know the foundation of most of these belief systems. We know where they came from. We know the history of them. And we're living in a time in this 21st century to where churches are failing because of this entire thing, some of which we're talking about, basically hypocrisy, and most people view church as business anymore, and that sort of thing. So all that is not to say that faith is a bad thing. I used to say it's, before my hair was gone, I used to go around and say people spend more time investigating the contents of their hair shampoo than they do their belief system, which is very sad. Early on in my life, my father being a clergyman, I thought if my eternity depends on what I'm being taught, I should really question everything. My dad's not perfect. The man that started this denomination we're in we're not perfect. You study the history of the Bible and you find out that it's not perfect. There's so many versions of it. And the history of it from the scribes and Masoretic text and whatnot, just the way it was translated, has left room for all sorts of mistakes. The earliest fragment of any Bible that we have goes back to sometime in the 2nd century. And it basically is the size of a playing card, just has a very small excerpt of some text from the Bible. So there's no complete anything of the Bible going back to the time of this Jesus. In fact, Mark was the first of the four Gospels to be written, and it was written some 70 years or so after this Jesus was put to death. There was no eyewitness accounts of this Jesus in the Bible. But even setting all that aside, it doesn't really make a lot of difference if you're ignoring big chunks of it anyway. And if what you're being taught is totally different, and this is where it comes back to, are you a cultural Christian? And most people are culture. It's a cultural thing. You have your belief because, absolutely because it is the cultural thing. Your views toward God are subjective. For the most part, it's subjective to when and where you were born. There's a caveat to that. Some people do choose another faith than what is popular in their communities, but for the most part, even the ones that are not churched are quick to tell you they believe. And sometimes I wonder if that's just a kind of a self-defense mechanism because of the culture they live in. It's like, I don't want to hear it. Yes, I believe. Okay, subject's ended because I said I believe. So it's almost like not even a sincere belief to begin with. But these are all things you have to examine for yourself. And to any Christian out there, the first step I would encourage them to do, instead of ranting on about the quote unquote 10 Commandments, is to read Matthew 5, 6, and 7. Set aside all the indoctrination you've had, all the interpretation you had, and just read from any version of your Bible, NIV, King James, whatever. Just read those 3 chapters for yourself and be honest with yourself and be honest about what you're reading in those 3, and then you can compare that to what you have been told. That's a good thing to do. And I think that if you believe that your eternity rests upon this, that if pleasing your Creator rests in any way on these things, it's probably a good thing to do. But of course, the typical cop out is, well, none of us are perfect. We're going to make mistakes and misjudgments, and that's why Jesus died for us. And that kind of sums it up. And they don't dig any further, don't go any further. Well, again, that's up to you. I've often said that I don't care if you worship a rock as long as you leave the rock in your pocket and don't throw it at me. And the problem with Christendom, of course, is they've got to continually throw their rock in the form of billboards and everywhere you look, and even in public, they will attack you with their beliefs. You get them at the doorstep or whatever. So given all that, I'm going to stop that little rant here in the middle of the night that went on for about 40 minutes. August 29th, the laws changed in Alabama that grossly, very, very much affected what we were doing up until that point as far as having funds for what we do. We are not a normal church. We're an abnormal church. And we view the Bible in a different context than most mainstream Christianity. And in doing that, we're not taking away from it. We are looking at it in a very real, pragmatic way. They are stories, and there's something to be learned from those stories. But Christendom, as far as we're concerned, shields you from the stories, and they put the messenger ahead of the message. I like to say they've Elvis-ized Jesus. So there is our website, IOCCHURCH.org. And there's our phone number. And as things changed and our careers and the way we dealt changed, because we've always served people, we've always had our hands out. They were not clasped in this mode here, our heads bowed and our eyes closed. We were like this helping people, embracing them. And we were striving not to be prayer warriors, but to be the answer to prayers, not pleading for a miracle, but being the miracle givers. And this is the best we can do. And that's what we'll strive to keep doing for our community, for those that we have been fortunate enough to come in contact with and to serve over the years. So I have put together a book of real stories. There's this one. I have two different streams going here, so I can get this out several different places. And it's not, it's not a very thick book, but this is a fascinating material here. And it, to give a little background, oh man, 15 years ago or so, I found myself having been added to a group, unbeknownst to me at the moment. I don't recall ever being asked to be a part of it, called Paranormal Clergy. Now, I've dealt with a lot of situations in my career in ministry. And this was at first kind of a shock that I found myself there, but then I thought, well, this could be interesting. And we were kind of semi-well known across the country. People sought us out who were in need of some kind of assistance. And without giving all the stories away that I experienced through that short time with that organization, there were two that really stood out. And in both cases, the young lady professed to be having a relationship, an intimate relationship with the ghost of Freddie Mercury. More about that story in the book. The other lady from Denver, Colorado, professed to be married already to the ghost of JFK Jr. So I clearly had heard incubus, succubus. I knew what those referred to. And I kind of, for the most part, up to this point, had kind of tossed that aside as what we would call wet dreams. In the middle of the night, you find yourself aroused, and it kind of goes from there. But those two cases brought things to a new level in my psyche as to what's going on in the world. And in recent times, these stories kept popping up. I had studied with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in depth about their beliefs. I was looking to see what other religions taught. And I found out they baptize for the dead. They marry in proxy for the dead. More about that in this books. And of course, we know the saints. They have thousands of saints in the Catholic Church, and the things they do in honor or that actually can control the outcome of deceased people. And then there's the case in Indonesia of the community that actually digs up their dead, cleans the corpses up, dresses them up, restructures the coffin where it may be falling apart, spends a few days with their deceased ones before reburying them. It's all in here. There's bonus chapters, a guy that's madly in love, intimately with his car, bodybuilder that's in a very intimate, serious relationship with his robot girlfriend, a lady that advocates having sex with elves. Fascinating, interesting stories. And this is what this is, a compilation of these stories, dating the dead. And you can find more information about this book at datingthedead.com. And we are offering this book. I prefer you order it directly from me. That way I can autograph it for you. And I can send it to you if you're in my area. meet, take a selfie, and hand you the book. And the book is $15, and this is how we're raising funds for what we do right now. Fascinating, interesting book. You're not going to find anything else quite like this. This is not your normal ghost story book, not by any stretch of the imagination. This is stories that did not come from my imagination at all. So I hope that you'll help us out. We're looking at other fundraiser ideas as well. But you can message me. You can call me at the number 888-501-6689, and we can secure your order on the phone. I can send you an invoice that you can pay from. Or if you insist, you can order it straight off of Amazon.com, where it can be found. And that link is provided on the website at datingthedead.com. So it's, again, a very fascinating story that stories, even some very well-known people who have shared their stories, can be found in this book. It's packed. It is packed full of very fascinating stuff. So I hope that you will, again, that you will help us out. It would be very, very sweet of you to do so. We would really, really appreciate it. Yeah, it would be really nice for you to do that. So again, datingthedead.com. You can follow me on any of these channels you happen to be watching on. I've been doing this nightly for a while now. Well, for a short while. The wedding ministry thing has really slacked off. I don't know if it's going to pick up or not, but in the meantime, the cost of everything continues. So we don't get a break from that. And we have a lot of things to deal with. So if you can help us out, if you go, the side thing that I run that also generates some funds for what we do is Abnormal Alabama. You go to abnormalalabama.com. There's a shop on there that you can order from, and any profits we get from that go to what we're doing to help seniors. We live in a very youth-oriented world, and a lot of times the seniors are forgotten. Some people are living a very healthy life in their old age, but there's a lot of others who are in need. And it gets down to where you've got to decide between your medication and paying a utility bill or whatever. It's very, very sad to think about. There's a lot of working mothers working 2 or 3 jobs, and the pay scale is so below anything that even comes close to cost of living that they stay exhausted, and their health fails and so forth. And these are the kind of people we really try to reach out to. Like I said, the weddings has really been the major part of where we got our funds from. And thank you, Alabama, for taking that away from us. I laugh, and it's not really something to be laughed at. So if you would like to order the book, you can get it at Amazon. I prefer you get it from me, but you can go to Amazon and get it either way. If you would like to just make a donation to us, of course, we're not begging for that. We'd rather sell you something. We would rather put something in your hand. We have t-shirts and so forth, and we can design t-shirts. We're equipped to do all that. If you get any special order thing, there's so many ways that we can get back into generating revenue for what we do, and we do prefer to earn our way. We are providing music, DJ services. We've got the equipment. We've done it many, many times. If you go to our websites, there's hundreds of reviews that couples have left us, people we served have left us. And we worked hard for these people, and we will still do so. And right now we have nothing but time on our hands and no money is being generated. So if there's anything that you feel like you can do from purchasing this book, I'm also publishing another book on practical preparedness. If you go to our church website, you'll see that we call it the Church of Preparedness, and it's one way we look at the Bible stories. And I've got some videos about that as well. That book will be available soon as well, Practical Preparedness, and it's a very good book to keep all handy in case of any natural disasters or other man-made disasters that could disrupt the quality of your life, help you survive things and survive things at a better level. Just practical preparedness, not a doomsday prepper. We're not encouraging you to, dig a hole in the ground or move it to a cave. Most people can't afford to do those kind of things, but they're very practical things to do that can indeed save your life, your family's life. So that book is, I've just spent time today getting it formatted in the size that I want it, and I'll be getting it to be printed and published here real quick. So that will be available as well. So again, any help that you can give us, we really appreciate. And not looking for handouts. We're willing to work. We've got a lot of things that we can do for you. I do a lot of videos. We do photography. We do DJ, all those things. And of course, we do and have done thousands of weddings in the last bunches of years. We travel the entire Southeast. If you're watching and you have some event going on, corporate, personal, birthday parties, anniversaries, whatever, I can also do a magic show. I'm trying to lay out for you the things that we have available and would love to serve you. We're not trying to gouge anybody. We provide you good service and make sure that whatever your event is goes off smoothly. We can help you to plan your event. We can help you to orchestrate it and be kind of day of director, coordinator of your event. Done that many, many, many times. And so again, not looking for handouts, but no matter where you are, we're willing to travel to you and affect these things. And we're ready at a moment's notice. So please don't be afraid to reach out to us. You may be surprised at how well we'll fit into your budget, even if we have to travel. And you'll be doing a good deed. You also get a tax deductible receipt for whatever you pay us, because we are a bona fide church, even though we may not be your normal church. Our doctrine or lack thereof may be a different. I say we've got one doctrine, and it's a four-letter word, LOVE. So we're not trying to convert anybody. We're not trying to, but we are trying to encourage people. We do try to get people to think, and we are humans, and we want to get people to act more humanely. And we believe that what the best that we or anybody can do is to look out for each other and to care for our home planet that we all share around the world. It's one planet, air, water. It's everything we've got derives from this ball that we're existing on. I'm sorry, folks. I know maybe there's some people that think the Earth is flat. That's fine too. We could say that derives from the platter, the frisbee, whatever. Float your boat. So again, this is one of my favorite go-to cameras here, and you may have seen this little 4K camera. It is, I'm going to turn it on here, and you'll see. Oh, There we go. Get it up here. This little DJI Osmo Pocket. And I'm talking about, you look at some of the videos that I've created with this thing. I've added on this piece because it helps to make it easier to adjust the gimbal right there. This little 4K camera is an awesome bit of technology. Now, this isn't the only camera that we have or use. And we do our videos a little bit differently than some do, but we're not trying to compete with these high production things. We're trying to preserve the memories of your event. We're also wanting to do videos that you can keep to pass on to the generations ahead of you to tell your story, the story of you. And that can be found at Abnormal Photography. Abnormal.photography is actually the website. So, like I said, there is a menu of services to choose from that would really help us out, and that way we don't have to sit and beg you, please donate, please give. You know, like the other churches, plant a seed and it will grow. Well, the seed we want you to plant is simply saying, I can use their services. I need some music at this fair over here, or I would like some photography done, or I would also fly drones. And I can do some aerial photography. Maybe you're building, you would like a good video or a good photograph from the sky, whatever. You can do all those things and very reasonably. Real estate photos, sports photos, whatever you name, we can do. So we will work as competitively because we have the time and we have the skills. And go back again, if you just look up Dr. Kelsey Graham, if you go to the websites, you can go to drkelseygraham.com. There's a page there of testimonials, which is the same testimonials you'll find when you look for me on Wedding Wire, and of course at kelseygraham.com. Also, the reviews can be found there. We do have abnormaldj.com that it's about our DJ services, and then the photography website. We also can do a photo booth. We've done that a lot as well, and we create some interesting things for you with a photo booth. We can set up at a moment's notice, and again, we travel from the Gulf Coast to Kentucky, Mississippi, Georgia. You know, clearly we need to be compensated for our travel time, and if we spend the night somewhere, just an inexpensive motel room. We don't require an expensive motel. Just prefer not to have bed bugs and rats, and prefer to have clean sheets and some hot water to shower with. So this is what I'm putting out there, and this is what we are in need of. And I don't know, like I said, instead of begging, I've worked hard to get all this together. $15. Clearly, if enough of these move, I think right now it's listed on Amazon for 20, and I'm dropping that to 15. I don't know if they've got that done yet or not. And then I'll have the practical preparedness manual, is what I like to call it, coming out very soon, probably in the next couple of weeks latest. It takes them a little bit to get everything typeset, whatever. And then we're ready as far as DJ work. We have more than one system, and we can pack it and go. We got lighting, so we can provide dance floor lighting and whatnot. We got the cafe style lighting if you want it strung over your area, whatever. We can do decorations, you name it. We can help you facilitate your event, whatever that event may be. It can be whatever, and we'll work with you on it, and we will do it in a practical way within your budget. We're not interested in gouging anybody. Right now, we've got time and we're in need. Instead of just begging for free money and free handouts and whatnot. We're not here trying to sell you holy water, even though I've got some very pure holy water, if you insist. It's not what I'm promoting. So there's a menu of services. Give us a shot, would you? 888-501-6689. Give us a chance. We want to work. We're not asking for anybody just to donate anywhere in the Southeast. If it's further away, of course, we're going to want to be compensated for travel. There's no doubt about that. But we can do it. That's just a fact. Anywhere. We can load up and go at a moment's notice. And there's more staff than just myself. But right now, I'll be there for sure. If you need anything event oriented, if you need photography, if you need videography, you can go to, of course, you're at one YouTube channels, or we got streaming on 2 YouTube channels. So you can look at videos where you are there under Dr. Kelsey Graham weddings and whatnot, or you can go to Abnormal Alabama on YouTube and see videos, different styles, different ways of doing it, and we'll do it the way you want it, we'll produce it and get it to you in very short order. So yeah, again, give us the opportunity. That's really all I can say. Give us the opportunity. If you're interested in the book, you find their stories maybe fascinating to you to learn about people's relationship with the dead, datingthedead.com, or get a hold of me directly and I'll get the book to you directly. Or you can go to amazon.com. The link to Amazon is on my website at datingthedead.com. And everything else, give us a chance. 888-501-6689. 888-501-6689. If perchance you were to get voicemail, there's 2 other numbers I can give you: 205-473-1932 or 228-229-7301. And like I said, we're wide open. We need to work, and we're here for you. You'll be doing a good thing by allowing us to serve you. We're not trying to put anybody out of business. We're not trying to compete with the big boys, that sort of thing. But we can help you pull off an event that'll make you look real good to the people at your event. That I can assure you we can do. So guys, I can go on and on and on about this, and I'm gonna list these things one more time. We can set up a photo booth to your desire. We can do DJ work, the music that you want. We can provide lighting for your event as far as the dance floor and cafe lights and that sort of thing. We can do centerpieces. We can do decorations for your event. We do videography, including drone work, and we do photography. I can do a short magic show to entertain your guest, whatever that may be. And of course, I can still officiate weddings, give speeches, and those kind of things. So you got all those from a menu of services. Anything like that that you think you might be able to use, give us an opportunity to talk to you about what we can do and how much we can do it for. I think you'll be very surprised, and you'll certainly be happy with the results we give you. And again, Dating the Dead, datingthedead.com, that book specifically written of compiling these stories, interesting, fascinating, some kind of humorous and some very strange. Good for your coffee table, or put it in the waiting room of your doctor's office or your accountant's office or your lawyer's office, you start reading this book, you're not going to put it down too quick. I can tell you that, because it is a fascinating read. Table of contents I'll go over with you here real quick. It's nothing new. Ghost marriage in modern times, rites of the ghost marriage ceremony, Japan, darling dolls for the afterlife, Sudan, weddings in the wake of fatal feuds, Christianity and the dead, individual tales of ghostly marriage and sex, famous people who dated the dead, woman claims she has sex with elves, close encounters, Irish farmer claims he was sexually assaulted by a leprechaun, Bigfoot sex, the living dead, bodybuilder set to marry his sex robot, and man has intimate relationship with his car. You're not going to be disappointed. $15. You'll want to leave that out. Whoever's waiting to come into your office is not going to be bored. In fact, they'll be sorry that you disrupted them. So you can order it directly from me, 888-501-6689, or message me through YouTube or Facebook, and we can go from there. Or you can go to Amazon.com and order it as well. If you get it from me personally, I'll make sure to autograph it and send you a personal note with it. Make sure you get it right away. It'd be a big help to us if you at least spend those few dollars. Ordering from me directly right now is $15, including the shipping charge that I'll get it to you. That would be a big help. If you 7 days a week, we're available for your event, whatever that event. Don't be afraid to ask. You're talking to a man that has officiated a nudist wedding, so you're not going to shock me, and I'm not going to belittle you for whatever you happen to be involved in. We will gladly serve you at your event, whatever and wherever that event is. We'll gladly video, photography, any of the above. Just ask. You're not going to rattle our cage. You're not going to shock us. And we love adventure, and we like different, unique things. Trust me on that. So reaching out to everyone here, and again, Dating the Dead. More information at datingthedead.com. There's the book. You won't be disappointed. datingthedead.com, and you can get a feel for the stories in there, a little tease, and also you will see where it'll link you straight to Amazon, where you can order the book. Excuse me. In lieu of that, my preference would be that you get the book directly from me. Amazon, I don't get as much profit from, if you will, and I can personally send you the book and autograph it for you. And I can be reached by messaging me on any of these platforms. You can go to the church website and message me through that. You can call this number, any of the above, and I will respond, or we'll get the payment from you and get the book to you. DJ work, more than one setup. We can do more than one gig at a time anywhere in the Southeast. We have nothing else going on. We are here to serve you full time. We're not clock watchers. Once we agree on a fee, that is the fee that we stick to. We don't work by the hour. Let's put it that way. On any of these services, we'll be glad to provide you a tax deductible receipt from our church, so that you can have that tax deduction. We'll be glad to do that for you as well, because it is done through our church and for the benefit of what we do. And as I started this out, we have lost dramatically the resources we had as of the latter part of 2019, in great part due to a change of marriage license laws in Alabama. We're still doing I think quite honestly, for the slowest it's ever been going into a new year. I don't think we've got, I think I personally have booked 2 or 3 weddings for the entire year. From one of our venues, I think maybe they have a couple other weddings for us. So it's really cramping our style. We haven't had much of anything going on for weeks and weeks and weeks now, and the crunch is on dramatically. So the purpose of this long live stream here is to get the word out that we need bad. Can I say that again? We need bad to have this happen. I'm going to let's see. I want to change something here. Okay, I'm not. It's not what I was looking for. I want to share something with you here, just so you can kind of get an idea of where I'm coming from live right now on that channel. Bear with me a second. I want to share something just for the fun of it, just show you that I ain't kidding. I just have to find it. There it is right there. So I'm gonna get this set up in the queue. There we go. And all right, so I'm gonna go to share screen, and we'll share the audio with it. This tab, and okay, it's gonna take me right back to that. I'm gonna go full screen, and you're not gonna hear me. All right, so there I was, kind of dressed up at a DJ gig from a while back, and just to show you that I'm not blowing smoke. We are very serious about what we're doing. Also, and let me also share while I'm doing this. Let me get this queued up, because here we go. Dun, 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 dun. I want to play a 15-minute video here, and I'm going to bear with me a second, because I'm going to share this. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. That's what I wanted. All right. So I'm going to share this, and give me a little bit of a break here. Remember, everything we're doing here is to support what we've been doing for a long time, and things dramatically changed in Alabama that affected our revenue and what we're doing in Alabama. We really need your help. We're not asking for free handouts. We're offering our menu of services. And here is what I'm going to share with you now. So let's get this going. Okay, there we go. That is the layout, and I kind of cut that off maybe a minute earlier. But I am a certified facilitator for the SYMBIS program, which is saving your marriage before it starts. I've successfully gone through this program with several couples who just love it. If you go to drkelseygraham.com, which you see scrolling along the screen here on this one, I didn't get it on this other one. Should I have changed that? It's fine. Bottom line is this. We're in need of your help. And we're not asking for free handouts. We're offering some practical things, and I've got them listed up here on the screen. Let's see if I can catch this other one up here, because I made some changes, and this one is going to another source, which I've got this simulcast in a couple of different ways, so I want to get that updated. There we go. And then I want to get this updated right there. We go. Now we're on the same page. And that was important to me. So I don't think it matters that I cut off part of my face there, because it's not much to look at, is it? So anyway, as I've said repeatedly throughout this live stream, a lot of changes have been made that has really drastically affected our income. And we're not looking for just people to just give us stuff. If that's what you choose to do, I'm not saying we'll turn it down, but that's not what we're attempting to do here. I have written more than one book. This one is already published. It's a compilation of stories about the human experience and how different cultures and different people have relationships with dead people. Interesting stories, not made up, not by me. These are stories that I found, and I'm simply compiled them in this book for your reading pleasure. You can order that directly from me or at Amazon.com. If you order it directly from me, the price is $15, and that includes shipping anywhere in the continental USA. And that would be a big, big help right there. And I'll get it to you right away, and I'll autograph it for you as well. If you see here a menu of the services that we offer, and you go to these websites, you'll see other reviews on the Dr. Kelsey Graham. There's a whole page of the same reviews that can be found on kelseygraham.com that couples have written about our services over the years, hundreds of them, and we appreciate that. But the menu of services that you read on your screen there, this is what we're offering, and we really extremely try to work within people's budgets because we are a ministry. We're also, upon your request, will provide you a tax receipt for the amount of money that you've given us for the services we provide. And those services from DJ, we have more than one DJ setup. We have lighting for dance floor. We also have cafe lighting that we can string up. We can help you decorate. I didn't really have room to put all that along here. Photography, years and years of photography, videography, photo booth, efficient, to get just some simple, a lot of different um, examples of a lot of videos we put out. You can go to the one YouTube channel that I am broadcasting this to, which is Dr. Kelsey Graham on YouTube, or on Abnormal Alabama on YouTube. Either one of those, you see a lot of videos I put out. Public speaker. I've had a lifetime of public speaking, a good over 50 years of public speaking ability. My voice carries and has that resonance to it that may not come across on the computer very well. I don't know. Also, I am the author of this book and a couple of others. This one is already ready to go, Dating the Dead. I've talked about this several times. If you are interested in knowing what this is about, go to datingthedead.com. It's a compilation of stories of the human and the strange relationships we have with the deceased and other bonus chapters at the end, inanimate objects. Hey, whatever, just stories. We serve the entire Southeast USA. Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Georgia, Mississippi, Louisiana, all the way through. And moments notice, we're ready to load it up and head to where you're going. We can help you plan your event. We can help you organize your event. We can help you with decorations. We have a florist on our staff. There's so many things we can help you with. And if you read through our reviews, you'll see we've been very successful at doing that for people. So again, not looking for people just to write us blank checks and, just to donate for the sake of donating. We are offering services anywhere in the Southeast. Any of them you see listed here, even further than Southeast. If you're willing to pay for our travel, certainly. We are a ministry. We will offer you, if upon your request, we'll provide you a tax-exempt receipt from our church for having used our services. So if that's a benefit to you, great. We try to work within your budget. When I'm consulting with someone to come up with a plan and we get to the fee part, I'll ask. I'm going to trust people. We will ask, what's your budget? Is there any way we can do this within your budget? If you've set aside a certain amount of money, we have served people that, clearly that came to our office that needed someone to get them married or whatever. We've done it for free. And we've also done it for $20, $10. Some people just don't have much money. Fortunately, there's others that were very generous with us, and that was an awesome thing. It helped us to serve those that just didn't have. But right now we're in a crunch, and we're pleading for any of this work here. And it doesn't matter. We are not going to be critical, whatever your needs are, whatever the venue is, the DJ, karaoke, photography, videography, any of those things. We will serve you any day of the week, any time of the day, whatever the venue is, whatever the affair is. That's not our concern. Our concern is providing you with a good service. We're not clock watchers. We don't work by the hour. We derive at a fee, and that's what we serve you for. If things go exceedingly well and you choose to provide a tip, that's acceptable, but not in any way required at all. So this is what I've been live streaming about, and this is what is important to us to be able to survive this going into 2020, because 2019 ended on a very sour note for us, a very downside, besides other than my partner having some very serious medical issues still recovering from, and the wedding part of our ministry, which was our chief fundraiser, dramatically set back because of change of laws in Alabama regarding the paperwork required for marriage. And then we were evicted from the building that we were occupying for our offices and whatnot. We appreciate the time that we were allowed in there, but a lot of things came down at once that really hurt us, and financially. And that's why I'm doing these live streams now. It's very, very important to us to be able to continue on what we're doing. In fact, we have obligations that we have to take care of. We cannot walk away from what we've obligated ourselves to, and the times are getting more critical day in and day out. If you know anybody that has any need or can use any of these services, have them contact us. There's phone numbers down there. 205 473 1932, 228 229 7301, 888 501 6689. You could easily find us anywhere. We're all over the internet. Been doing this for years and years, so we're easily found. You can message us on Facebook. You can message us on YouTube, whatever. So all that is there. And we're not looking for free handouts. We're not looking to get something for nothing in return. From the books to the services that we can provide for you, this is our service to the community. We really strive to not only work within your budget to save you a lot of money in whatever your affair is. Also, can do a little magic show to entertain your guests. Be glad to do that as well. So I guess, my goodness, I'm trying to think of what all can be done here. Let me see if there's something else I can share with you as we go along here. So bear with me a second. And you got that information. And let me, I tell you what, let me do a couple of things here. I want to go down here and share with you. I gotta go back a ways here, so just pardon me for a moment. I'll be right back with you. Right back where we started from. Because this does go back a little ways in my things here. I mean, it goes back quite a ways, but the video is here, so just bear with me. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. That's a curious thing right there. I'm sorry, I got distracted there for a moment. Okay, we're gonna get there. We are going to get there. Boom, boom, pow. Boom, boom, pow. If you look at that list of services again, you'll see absolutely where we're coming from and what we can offer you. And we will do our best to work well within whatever your budget requirements are. We will travel anywhere in the southeastern states. Getting closer. We will find this for sure. Getting really closer to what I want to share with you. All right. I guess I'm having to go back a long ways. I'm just gonna end up dropping this, I think, because this, my God, this is going back a long ways. I have literally got just a crazy amount of videos up here. I mean, an insane amount of marketing videos and all the above. I'm just fracking really wild. Excuse me again. Oh, okay. That's not the one, but we're getting closer. Voice goes back and it goes way back there. Bum, 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 bum. God, I mean, just endless affair of what I've done over the years. I haven't scrolled down through here forever. Here we go. This is the one that I want to share. So I think what I'm going to do is the this one here. This is the one I want to do right there. Okay. This is the one that I want to do. And so I want to share this real quick. This has to do with the DJ work. So I know I don't have it going there, but I got it going here. So let's go, and I need to share the audio and click, click, click right there. Share. Now let me get, there we go. Let's get this going. And now we're going to go into the first dance. Only moons rush All right, so I'll stop that streaming right now. And that didn't take me where I wanted to get. I wanted to go way down here again. But yeah, we got a lot of this. Let's find this. Let's find this. Ooh, I got a video that had 8,000 different views. Wow. I didn't realize I had that. 91 people. What a, okay, I just had to look at this real quick. Sorry. That's the most closest thing to a viral. Well, there's another one there, 5,000 something 8 years ago. I've been doing this a while. That's just the short and the long of it. I have been at this for a little while. Now I want to get back up here to where I was. Hard red. Da, 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 da. Okay, where was I? Okay. All right, let's get this one up, and I'm going to stop that, and I'll get this back to the beginning. This one's had 516 views. Okay, so I'm entertaining myself and you, I guess, here right quick. Let's see, we're gonna go here. And this is a wedding that I officiated on the stage of the Alabama Theater. So I just thought I would share this. I want to blow that up full screen, and I'm going to let you listen in. Well, come on, I thought I hit the play button. There we go. We're gathered here today to join Jeff and Brianna and to hear witness the transforming power of love. The bride and groom thank you, their families and friends, for being here to share their joy. They are honored to share their happiness with those that care and love them. Marriage is a supreme sharing of experience and an intimate, most intimate of human relationships. It is the joyous uniting of a man and a woman whose comradeship and mutual understanding have flowered in romance. Today, Jeff and Brianna are laying their love to the world, and we who are gathered here rejoice with them and for them for the new life they now undertake together. We're gathered here not to witness the beginning of what will be, but rather what already is. We do not create this marriage because we cannot. We can and do, however, celebrate the Jeff and Brianna and their family, wonders, and joyful occurrence that's already taken place in their lives, the occurrence of love. In this spirit, Jeff and Brianna has asked me to share with you a poem entitled Love by Wayne Paul. I love you not only for what you are, but for what I am, what I with you. I love you not only for what you have made of yourself, but for what you are made to be. I love you for putting your pen into your heaped up heart and drawing out to the light all the beautiful belongings that no one else can look quite far enough to find. I love you because you have done more than any creed could have done to make me good, and more than faith could have done to make me happy. You have done it without a touch, without a word, without a sign. You have done it by being yourself. We're here to share your joy and hope and speak you along, path that you have now tread together. May it be the path of an ever deepening and widening love that you shall travel arm in arm throughout your years. The celebration
is an outward token of a sacred and inconvenient hearts. It is a union created for a loving purpose and kept by your abiding will. It is in this spirit and for this purpose that you have come here today to be joined together. So, Jeff, you take Brianna to be your lawfully wedded wife, to love and respect, comfort her, honor, and keep her, forsaking all others. You only unto her yourself as loving devotion. And Brianna, you take Jeff to be your lawfully wedded husband, to love and respect him, comfort him, honor, and keep him, forsaking all others. You only unto him for his loving devotion. Jeff is married to vows. I, Jeff, and Brianna, to be my wife, to heaven and earth, from this day on, from better to worse, the richer the poor, and sickness and death, to love and change, so long as Brianna, I, Brianna, to be my husband, to heaven and earth, from this day on, for better to worse, the richer the poor, and sickness and death, to love and cherish, so long as Jeff, as you hold Brianna's hands, remember that the hands that are holding yours on your wedding day are the hands of your best friend, as she pledges her love and her commitment to you. These are the hands that will hold you tight as you struggle with difficult times. These are the hands that will comfort you when you are sick, or console you when you are grieving. These are the hands that will give you support as you chase your dreams. These are the hands that will love you and cherish you for all the years for a lifetime of happiness. And Brianna, these hands that are holding yours on your wedding day are the hands of your best friend, as he promises to love you for all of his days. These are the hands that will work alongside yours as you build your future together. These are the hands that will comfort you in illness, hold you in times of grief. And these are the hands that will tenderly lift your chin and wipe tears of sorrow and tears of joy from your eyes. These are the hands that will love you and cherish you through all the years for a lifetime of happiness. And grace. For thousands of years, lovers have exchanged greetings as a token of their vows. Let these rings symbolize that love is a past, a present, and a future through you and within you. Yet, as you take the honest ring and place it on her left hand ring finger, is these words to her. With this ring, I be wed. Wear it and know God. For his left hand ring finger, be to become this ring. Wear it and know God. It is not you, Jeff, and Brianna, that consent together this union of marriage. They pledge your faith to each other. Here in my presence, and the presence of this company, by authority vested in me by the state of Alabama, it is indeed my pleasure to pronounce husband and wife and Mr. Brown. The gospel of our honor and introduced for the very first time, Mr. Cameron Williams Hopper.
Okay, just going back through some archives as to some weddings I've done in the past. I was on the stage of the Alabama Theater, and I'll get one more going here before I call it quits. You'll notice on the live stream screen there a list of services that we offer, and we are putting the word out that we need to be working. We need it. Yeah, we need to be working. That's just the bottom line. We got to be working, folks. So don't forget that. Let's bring it on. Let's do this. Anywhere in the Southeast, we're willing to travel. Don't think we are not. I'm looking. I thought, well, I want to do one more little presentation here, if I could, before I call this a night. If I can get anybody's attention here with this, that would be a good thing. Bum, 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 bum. All right. Amy and Nicole. Is that, yeah, here's one. Okay, this will wrap it up here. All right, so let's see. Let me get over here, and we're going to share this real quick. And this will be the last one. I've been going at this for over 2 hours, and I want to remind you again that share audio. All right. Okay, I mean the audio really sucked on that, so I'm just going to drop that there. Anyway, this will be archived and everywhere I live streamed it. I really appreciate anybody that pays attention to this and anybody that can use any of these services right here. Any of these services, we need your help. We're not begging for free money. We're just begging for work. We're well equipped, well experienced. The reviews that's found online by the couples we've served over the years speak for us as far as the quality, dedication, and what we do for people. The phone numbers are there, 888-501-6689, 205-473-1932, 228-229-7301. There's my email address. There's the websites. You can get a hold of us by messaging us on YouTube, by messaging us on Facebook, by calling any of those numbers, by emailing at kelsey@kelseygraham.com. Any of those ways you can certainly contact us, and we hope to hear from you. We will travel, and we have done a lot of stuff on the Gulf Coast, all the way down to Biloxi and Gulfport, Mississippi. We've gone Knoxville, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, Atlanta, Georgia, Savannah, Georgia. We travel, and we will make it worth your time, and you will not be disappointed, and you'll be doing this for a good cause, supporting a good cause by doing this, because we are caregivers. We tend to a lot of people that are otherwise neglected. And we do it in a very non-judgmental way. We're not out to indoctrinate anybody. We're not out to convert anybody or deconvert anybody. We're out here to serve. And that's what we do. We have one doctrine, and that doctrine is LOVE. Again, the list of services and more, really. We do florals. We do, when I say florals, for decoration, centerpieces, that sort of thing. We have lighting for the DJ. And the videography, the photography. This does not have to be weddings. Don't think weddings. Think any event, any kind of event that you've got going on. I've even done videos of people that they've been canoeing or whatever. They want somebody to pay attention so they can enjoy their entertainment of going down the river or whatever they're doing, and have a third party videoing and taking pictures of them as they go through their day. That's possible. Just no limits. You're not going to rattle our cage by whatever. It's just not going to happen, because you're looking at a man here that has officiated at a nudist wedding. You're not going to rattle our cage. We're not concerned about the affair. We're concerned about serving you, whatever the affair is, whatever kind of music you want, you name it, we will do it. We're the ultimate yes man right here. So we really desperately need your help, and we're not asking for freebies at all. We're asking, just hire us, put us to work. We need to get busy. 2019 ended on a very sour note. The last few months really were earth-shattering downside for us, and we are bound and determined and working hard to get out here on the 2020. Let's make this a good year for all of us. We will help you make your event wonderful, and you'll be doing us and what we do a good thing in the process. So over 2 hours I've been streaming this. This will be archived here. Please do not hesitate to share this and share the word. The websites are here. Everything's here. So, okay. Take care, folks. Have a good night, and I will be back on, I'm sure, tomorrow.